$54,000 on Etsy in 1 month. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a conversation that I recently had with an Etsy seller that, again, did $54,000 in 1 month on Etsy and did over $400,000 for their entire year in 2021. Today, we're going to talk about the biggest takeaways that I got from that conversation and what I believe separates her from the rest of the other 99% of other Etsy sellers. And it's interesting, right? Because the conversation was a normal conversation. She was a normal person. She was a human being just like me and you. She was an Etsy seller that wanted to have great success, and she put in her work and she got it done. I'm going to talk to you about these takeaways. And today's video, we're not going to cover over some secret, right, that you've never heard of before. We're going to talk about what the fundamentals that she uses and some of the strategies that she uses in order to be successful. And this is going to be more of like an overview, of what she's doing. So to reveal some secret, but the biggest thing is I just want you to ask yourself while you're watching some of these takeaways is, am I doing these things? How am I doing these things? Can I be doing better in some of these things that she's doing? Okay. So quick little background on her. Again, she is a mom. I think she has 3 boys and she's busy. She's got plenty of things. She is a business owner, right? She takes her business very seriously. And she sells shirts and apparel. Okay. I'm not going to share with you her shop. I'm not going to share with you her products because that would be a disservice to her. And I just really appreciate her sharing this information with me so I can share it with you. I don't think it would be right for me to go and share her shop and do all these things. Anyway, so overall, she's been on Etsy for about 4 years. Okay. So it's not forever, but she definitely has experience. She's figured out, what works on Etsy and what doesn't for her. And she's figured out a way to succeed. She specifically does print on demand. Okay. Which is kind of cool, right? Because a lot of us are print on demand sellers. And she's figured out a way to make it work for her. Again, she's did over $400,000 in 2021. So this isn't like, she's done a few sales here and there. She has figured some things out. And I'm going to share with you a couple of those things today. So let's jump in. So number 1, she specifically, I noticed this. She has a unique eye for design. Okay. She's developed a skill that has enabled her to understand what is aesthetically pleasing. Okay. She knows what looks good and what doesn't. And this is really important, right? Because if you go to an Etsy shop, sometimes you can just kind of tell, if someone's a professional or if they're not. Okay. So depending on your niche, you may or may not have like a great importance of this, right? But specifically for like shirts and for designs, you need to have an eye for design. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into an example right here with you. So here's an example of just kind of the eye for design, right? So here I picked up 2 different examples here. We're just going to kind of go through them. Okay. And this is kind of what I mean. So if you land in this shop, you can kind of just tell, that the shop is pretty well organized. You can tell that the shop is kind of a similar feel, right? It's hard to explain it without really seeing it. So maybe just look at it, right? You kind of see that it's like similar colors, looks like high quality kind of images. Mockups are pretty good. They're all different, but they're all similar in a way too, right? And this makes a difference, right? When I land in the shop, I feel like this person knows what they're doing. I feel like they're a professional. It's hard to really kind of pinpoint exactly the reasons, right? But you just kind of see like, okay, there's a hanger here. Yeah, but there's also like a hanger here. That kind of looks professional. And and just it's pretty clear images, very high quality images. You have a mixture of some people in here too, but they're all like pretty high quality. You can just kind of tell. And it's all kind of a similar color theme, right? And overall just feels professional, right? And then I compare it to this one, just for example. And by the way, I have no affiliation with either one of these shops. I've never spoke with these owners, but I'm just kind of using it as an example. Land on this one, right? Not bad necessarily, just different. Okay. And you kind of just land on this big thing here and you can kind of just tell like, okay, this is kind of like, it's just different feeling, right? I don't think I need to say it. I think you guys can probably just kind of pick it up. And the theme is just different. It's kind of all over the place. Obviously they're using a lot of people and that's great. Okay. But I don't believe that this is probably the best way to succeed on Etsy. I believe that this way is the best way to succeed on Etsy based on data and what I've seen and who I've talked to. Okay. So, some of these aren't very clear what they are, and it just doesn't look necessarily professional. It almost looks like an Instagram account, right? Or it looks like a Facebook page, right? It looks very personal, I guess you could say, but not necessarily in like a professional and like a way that makes me want to buy from this shop. if this person had the same listing as this person, I'm going to buy from this shop just because it looks more professional, it's more trusting and more inviting. Okay, so that's pretty much wraps up this example, and let's jump back into the video. Cool. So number 2, she has an overall color theme to her shop, meaning that when you land on it, everything kind of looks like it belongs there, right? The main images all have a similar feel to them. It just feels like everything has a place, but they're also different in their own way too, of course, because they're all different listings, but they all have like a similar color theme. And I'm going to kind of jump into an example real quick here and show you what I mean by this. My color theme here, right? Do you believe that there's a color theme here? Are you seeing like a color theme? Okay, maybe it starts with pink and red, and then it kind of goes into like blue and yellow, and it kind of goes into, okay, the ocean, and there's no color theme, right? That's the answer. There is no color theme, and that's fine if this is kind of like their audience and they find success here, but there's no color theme. And the feel, it almost looks like all these things are a little bit misplaced, almost like I mentioned, like Instagram or like some sort of personal social media account. That's kind of what this reminds me of, right? And then you go to this one, and again, color theme. We talked about this a little bit in the last example, but you know, it's kind of like the browns, the grays. It's got a little bit of color in here. Nothing wrong with that. It's cool. But you overall just kind of feel like it's more professional. It's different. And everything kind of seems like it has a place in this shop, right? And not like you don't see like some random yellow and green and, you know, pink in here. This is the example that I'm using that's similar to the shop that, you know, that I had the conversation with. So let's jump back into the video and we'll keep going. 3, she focuses on trending items. Okay, she focuses on selling trending items by using EverBee to do her product research. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into an example of exactly how she does this, but it's so key. She revealed that like this is one of the most important things that she does besides creating the listings. She needs to understand what listings she needs to actually be creating and spending her time and energy on. Okay, so again, let's jump into the example. I'll show you what she showed me, how she does it. Okay, so remember, she is a print-on-demand seller. So she pretty much has unlimited supply of, you know, of her product and inventory. So she goes over to the Etsy search bar and she specifically targets before holidays, right? So if there's an upcoming holiday coming up, then she wants to try to get ahead of that. Okay, for example, right now we're in February, right? So St. Patrick's Day is coming up. So for example, she would do something like this. She would type in St. Patrick's Day, and she sees all these things pop up. Now, for you guys already in the Etsy community, you already know that Etsy is actually ranking these keywords in order of relevance and search volume, right? So the top one is getting the most searches by people, okay? And look what pops up. Sure enough, St. Patrick's Day shirt, okay? Perfect. She makes St. Patrick's Day shirts. Now, she sees all of this data pop up. Now the question is, okay, which ones should she actually be making, right? Which ones are kind of getting the most traction? And she's going to go make something like that and then go make a couple of variations of that. And one of her listings or a few of her new listings will actually take off and carry her shop. Okay. So it's an interesting strategy. So now next step in the process is she would go to analytics with EverBee. If you haven't installed EverBee, it's free. Link in the description below. Do it. You'll love it and you'll grow your revenue. Cool. Click on analytics. Cool. So she has all this data popped up, right? And she would go ahead and sort by either monthly revenue or monthly searches. She wants to find the best products that are selling for the specific keyword St. Patrick's Day shirt. Okay. So then we go ahead and click on this one. It's $1,900 a month in revenue. This is interesting, right? So you see that it's been around for about 1 year. Okay. So it's probably listed last year, but right now it's doing about $1,900 in monthly revenue. Okay. It's very easy for a print-on-demand seller to make. She would go and make something like this, right? Maybe with different fonts, maybe with a different clover. But overall, like this is the theme that she's seeing. Okay. She loves the color. She sees the color theme. She sees the font. She sees the cursive. It says lucky, it has a clove. Now a clover, I guess. She goes and makes variations of this, right? Maybe she moves the clover. Maybe she makes the font a little bit different. Makes the L bigger, right? She makes a few different variations of this one specific type of product. Okay. Then she goes and creates those products, and one of her 10 new listings will usually carry her shop. This is her formula, right? And then you just go find another one of these. So this is one, we favorite it. Great. Go and make something like that. We find another one here, just an example, right? So this is 1 month old. It looks like it's bringing in about $1,300 in monthly revenue. It sells for about $16, right? This is a no-brainer. This is her strategy. Okay. Now, this isn't only for St. Patrick's Day. This could be for Valentine's Day that just passed. It could be for Father's Day coming up. Right? You can do the exact same strategy. This is what she does, right? For pretty much any upcoming holiday that she does, she's always ahead of it. She's always ahead of it a few months. And so she actually capitalizes and catches the trending products. Okay. So anyway, let's jump back into the video and we'll keep going. 4, when she's considering making a listing, right? When she actually considers the listing, she executes on it, and she wants to, feels like she needs to spend her time and actually create this thing. She does competitor research, right? By seeing which tags her competitors are using and decides which ones that she should be using for her listing. Okay. So I'll jump into an example here. I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly how she does this part. Yeah. For this example, she's already identified specific listing that she wants to run with, right? She believes that she can capitalize on this type of listing. So she makes a bunch of variations, and now it's time for competitor research, helping make this listing successful. And here we go. EverBee shows her all the tags, right? Let's get Shamrock, Lucky Shirt, Patty's Day t-shirt, Shamrock shirt. And she basically just copies the ones that are working well for this listing, and she puts them in her new listing. Okay, she takes the keywords out of the title and she just picks ones that she believes works for her listing. Okay, she does this. And this way you avoid modeling after just guessing. First of all, you just avoid guessing what tags you should be using. And second of all, you actually are modeling after a successful listing. Okay, so anyway, let's jump back into the video. Hope this helps. 5, she optimizes for high conversions by using all of her image slots. Okay, so often we see, again, I see thousands of shops, right, every single week. And so many times I see that people are not using all their image slots, and they're certainly not using their videos in their listings. Okay. So if you're not doing these things, please do these 2 things. Use your images, put your video in there as well. Okay. This increases her trust, right? Increases trust with her shoppers and turns their shoppers into buyers. Okay. So it increases her conversion rates. So that when she does drive a bunch of traffic, they come into her shop as shoppers and they come out as buyers. Okay. So as you kind of see, like, this is extremely important, and the majority of people don't do this, surprisingly enough. Okay. So anyway, number 6, shoppers' amazing customer service. Right? This one isn't brand new. It's not like something you haven't heard before, right? Etsy rewards shops that do great customer service, but really it's just the right thing to do as a business owner anyway. For example, when someone has an issue with one of her prints on their shirt, which happens occasionally with print on demand, you can't control, the entire supply chain. She owns that mistake. Okay, she owns that mistake completely, and she issues a refund and sends them a brand new one. Okay, so she eats that cost. But in turn, this rewards her in the future, right? Because that person is obviously happy. They leave a better review. 2, they're likely to come back. Okay, they're likely to repeat as a repeat customer, and they're likely to refer somebody to your shop. Okay, the world is big. So, it's important for, like, when you're doing this a lot, you have a lot of shoppers, 1 person out of 10 might refer someone else to your shop, and that makes a big difference. Okay, especially if you're in business for the long term. Okay, 7, she believes in the 80-20 rule. Okay, this is probably one of the most important things that I took away from this conversation, right? Because 80% of her revenue comes from 20% of her products. This specific shop has over 500 listings in her shop. Okay, not all of her products sell well. Actually, hardly any of them do. Right? Only 20% of them actually, really create any meaningful revenue. So it's so important, right, to just focus on what is working instead of focusing on what is not working. Like, if listings just aren't getting traffic and you just can't get them to work, stop focusing all your energy on it. Go and create a new listing, right? Drive traffic to that, and then test new listings, right? Because at the end of the day, when a product does get traction, it carries your entire shop. And she's told me this, right? When a product in her shop gets traction, it carries her whole shop, and she rides that momentum, right? Because a lot of eyeballs come in, a lot of visits and views come into her shop, and she starts converting on other things as well. She's recognized how to create momentum for her shop. So she creates a lot of listings. She does a lot of product research using EverBee, and then she actually creates a lot of listings, optimizes the listings very well, and then understands that not all of them are going to work. I mean, the majority of them aren't, but it only takes one. It only takes one to really create, a lot of momentum for your shop. So her main mission is to find the best-selling shirt designs or just trending products that make her own version of them. Okay, and she gets them in her shop, and she creates that momentum, and then it builds over time like a snowball. Okay, and she used EverBee to do this for sure. So EverBee is the best product research tool there is. It's extremely powerful for figuring out which products to sell on Etsy, which ones are going to be profitable, which ones aren't. And there's a free forever plan, so there's no credit card required. It's 0 risk. So make sure you sign up in the link in the description below. It's 100% free to join. And as you guys know that are already on our hobby plan, right, that data is extremely powerful. Okay, so if you're not using data to make decisions in your business, then you're falling behind the competition just by default. Like there's increased competition on Etsy and every other online platform there is. So if you're not using data to kind of, go ahead of your competition, they're going to do it. Okay, so for you guys on the pro and the growth plan, very likely you already know, right, how powerful this data is. And I appreciate you guys, being a part of EverBee and its growing community of over 5,000 members worldwide, and we're used by some of the top 1% Etsy sellers, there are. Like, for example, this one that we just talked about today, over $400,000 on Etsy in 1 year, 2021, right? And it's wild. So anyway, we're so grateful that you're watching this video. If you did see value in it, please like the video. It really helps us kind of validate that, hey, we're actually helping you guys, right? Again, this channel's for free. So, and comment down below what was the biggest takeaway that you got out of this video. That would be help us too, so we can make more content that actually does help our viewers. So appreciate you guys. I will talk to you guys soon. See ya.